So Japan just canceled one of its most iconic cherry blossom festivals, and I think most people are missing why this matters. The city of Fujiyoshida has one of the most iconic photo shoot spots in all of Japan, actually in all of the world. Cherry blossoms framing Mount Fuji with the 5-story pagoda in the foreground. You've probably seen it without actually knowing where it was. And this year, the mayor canceled the festival. His exact words were, "The peaceful lives of local residents are threatened." Tourists were trespassing into private gardens. They were forcing school kids off the sidewalk just to get their perfect photo. And there's a viral video of someone grabbing a cherry blossom branch and shaking it just for the photo. And that clip got millions of views, and people were furious. But honestly, I get why it happens, because I've seen it my whole life, just in a different country. So I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, and in Oregon we have this stretch along the waterfront full of sakura trees. And every spring I see the exact same thing happen. Groups of friends, groups of families go out there to take their pictures, but when they take their pictures, they typically have someone grabbing the branch and forcefully shaking it to get those perfect cinematic petals in their shots. And they take their video, their pictures, they laugh, they have a good time, and then they go home. No one questions anything, no one sees that there's a problem, and no one's trying to be disrespectful on purpose. I even did it myself. Until I moved to Japan and got a new understanding about how to actually celebrate sakura. Here, no one actually touches the tree at all. Not always because of a sign, even though they do have them sometimes, usually where there's a lot of tourists gathering, but it's something else. People understand that the falling of leaves are supposed to happen naturally on its own, and that's the whole point. And once I saw how people do it here, it completely changed how I celebrate sakura. There's a concept in Japanese philosophy known as mono no aware. It translates to roughly as the awareness that nothing lasts forever. And it's not really a sad idea. The reason something is beautiful is because it's temporary. The falling petal moves you more than the petal that's on the branch because the falling petal is honest for what it is. Cherry blossoms in Japan only bloom for about a week, and sometimes even less. A strong rain can end it overnight. The Japanese track bloom forecasts similar to how we track sports scores, or in America, how we track football. People adjust their whole schedule just to sit underneath these trees for a couple of hours. And this tradition is what's known as hanami, the flower viewing, which is over 1,300 years ago. Originally, the imperial court would gather beneath the flowers, and they would write poetry and reflect on the season. Over time, it became something that everyone did. Today, you'll see families, co-workers, old couples, etc. laying out the blanket, sharing food, sitting and talking, or just watching the flowers. The point is to be present with it. But people outside of Japan don't actually know that hanami can also happen during the nighttime. And there's a word for it called yozakura, also known as night sakura. After dark, parks and shrines light up the trees with lanterns that have warm light to bring the flowers to life. The crowds thin out, everything just slows down, and somehow it becomes even more beautiful than it does during the daytime. In the dark with the lantern behind them, the blossoms look like they're suspended between falling and floating. It's the kind of thing that makes you understand immediately why people have been writing poems about this for thousands of years. And none of that beauty and none of that meaning comes from shaking the branch. When the city Fujiyoshida canceled the event, the mayor said something that I keep coming back to. He said that Mount Fuji isn't just a tourism resource. It's part of their lifestyle, part of their home. That's what gets lost. When something goes viral, people come just for the image and for the fame, not for the actual thing. They come for proof that they were actually there. And in that chase, branches get broken, the festivals get canceled, the locals stop coming because it doesn't feel like theirs anymore. Sakura season is not just a backdrop. It's not a prop. It's a living tradition that's been tended for over thousands of years. And it only works if you understand what you're actually looking at. And I'm saying this as someone who never knew this growing up. I shook trees too, and a lot of people were in the same place that I was. Not being disrespectful on purpose, but just being uninformed. So this is me trying to pass it on. Working for a Japanese bag company here in Japan and seeing how my coworkers understand has changed how I look on what we make. Mono no aware isn't just about sakura. It's a way of seeing the world. It's part of why Japanese craftsmanship leans toward things that last. Not because permanence is the opposite of impermanence, but because something made carefully carries its own meaning over time. A bag that you can carry for over 20 years has a different relationship than one that you replace every season. The Japanese people have a saying that the cherry blossom does not choose when to fall, it just falls. And I think there's something in that worth sitting with. Thank you so much for watching the video about how Sakura is properly celebrated in Japan. If you have any more questions about different holidays, leave those comments down below. And I am curious, if you do have Sakura trees in your own town, how do you celebrate the holiday there? Or do you guys even celebrate it in the first place? Leave your stories down below as well. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.